one wasn't enough for me. I used his name, his father's name, wrote his name on a paper and took Emanuela's hair, put it on my pad, menstruated on it. Unless he is not the father of this child, he will never go forward. I'm sorry, that was too much. I'm so sorry, but I've suffered enough. He abandoned me after how many years? Left the child. He was lucky to have one. Thank God for that.
The mother of the baby, tell us what is happening. Be telling me.
I met him 2010. I believed he loved me and I loved him so much then. 3 years later, into the courtship relationship, I got pregnant with this girl. She's 11 this year. And I gave birth 2014, 9th of February, to this girl. 7 months later, because he's a traveler, he doesn't base in Nigeria, he based in China. He traveled back to China. Before then, he said to me, we had good times. Keep yourself for me. If he could remember, he said, keep yourself for me. When I come back, we'll settle everything. I said, okay.
He asked you to keep yourself.
Yes, Daddy.
That is coming to marry you.
Yes, Daddy.
Okay. After giving birth to this girl.
After giving birth, 7 months. Okay. That is after giving birth to her, 7 months. He traveled back. Before he traveled back, I asked him, like, what time will you be back? Okay, why in Agaga? A woman time passes. He said, highest 2 years by God's grace. I said, okay, Daddy. I went on my knees. Every believing church I go to, night prayers, my knees are on the ground. With the help of my younger sister, my mom, they are here. Unkept, 5 years, and
he did not allow another man to touch you.
Untouched. Heaven bear me witness, I'm in the house of God. Untouched, 5 years. On my birthday, 2013, 3rd of November, he called me and said, Vivian, I don't think this thing we are doing is going to work. If you see a man you want to marry, marry.
It is after how many years?
5 years.
You have waited for 5 years.
Yes, Daddy. And I was like, please, if it's because I've been calling and disturbing you, I can stay longer. He said no. He doesn't want a situation whereby tomorrow they will say he's the cause of me not getting married. And I was like, it doesn't matter. And my father was telling me, Vivian, leave this guy. What a child sees sitting, standing, an old man sees it sitting. My elder brother called me from Germany. Go and marry, leave this guy. My friends were mocking me. He ain't go disappoint you. People were yabbing me. I was getting temptations up and down. Marriages, prominent men were coming. I wasn't ugly like this. I said no. We still keep in touch. Then, after telling me that, 3 days I was in the hospital. I couldn't believe it. Later, I still called him. I said, think about this thing you said to me. If there's any way I've wronged you, you can tell me. Please. He said, no, nothing, that he doesn't want to disappoint me. Then I moved on with my life. It was so shameful, very painful. I told him, okay, since it's like this, what do we do? You have to train this child for me. He said, taking care of his child is not the problem, but he cannot marry me anymore. I picked up the piece of my life. I moved on. My elder brother in Germany, now in UK, rented an apartment for me with my child. With my child, my elder brother rented an apartment for me. I got a job
Here in Lagos.
here in Lagos, in Satellite Town. I got a job. I was looking flashy again. Picked up the piece of my life. I was working, but I wasn't happy, Daddy. I wasn't happy. I wasn't myself. How can what I've labored for 3 years, 5 years, then the girl, I'm still with her, going on? A promise not kept. I was worried. With the mockeries and the problems and the shame, a marriage I didn't plan in the space of 1 month, not knowing that the guy has been asking questions about me. And the marriage lasted for just 4 months. Because of a kept body,
Okay, after that 5 years that he told you to go and marry, you tried to marry another man.
No. After that 5 years he told me to marry, I moved on. Few months later, because of shame and disgrace, I was frustrated. I decided to marry that man to remove the shame from me. But the marriage did not last. It lasted for just 4 months. I was already pregnant. The guy was like, my mind is not what he's doing with me. And I was like, you're not even trying to cooperate with me. The thing is not just working. I carried my child. I bear my child all along with the help of my family, especially my mom and my sister here. My family, good friends. And I started calling him, how do we take care of this girl child? Initially, he was helping. And all of a sudden, Daddy, the story is so long. The elder brother one day called me and was like, carry Emanuela, give to my family, let them give her parental training. And I was like, how can my child have parental training? Parental training is meant for a man and a woman staying in the house together. You want me to carry my child and give to your brother to train for another woman, and tomorrow the child will stand up and say, my mommy doesn't care about me. I won't do that. A child that stays staying with me from birth, I will just carry her and give out. I cannot do that. She's the only one I have. He still repeated the same thing. I remember when he came back, he was looking so flashy. I went to see him with Ella. And the brother was boasting for me, if we are Aketa, to more than 150 million. Came back with Range Rover. Latest Range Rover then, with Venza. My sweat, my midnight cries, my suffer, everything that I suffered for. Ask him. There were days he wants to do business in China. I will call him, baby, don't do that business. Oh yeah, and he will call me and say, I didn't do that business, thank God. And I didn't enjoy that money. When I gave birth to the second child, he saw where I was staying, in a slump, because that other guy left. And I begged him, please help me. Till today, he has not paid the Manila school fees. I've been training this girl for the past 6 years now. Single-handedly. With my sofa, everything. And we went to several places. We went to Agoju police station. The second calling, he came with a lawyer. And the welfare said, this is not lawyer case. If it's lawyer case, we will take over it. Then we went to Alausa. I dragged him to so many places. When we went to Alausa the second time, they asked him, what is happening? He said he doesn't have money. Asked him, I can understand with him very well. I've known him very well before now. I said, okay, if you don't have money, at least the one you married in the house and the child they eat, anything at all, you can give to me. I can support. Even the school, he came back from China then and told the school have been taking my child to paying school fees, hustling. This guy goes to one of the best schools in Satellite Town. She doesn't look like a child that doesn't have a father or that misses the dad. And sometimes people will say, she doesn't look her age. It's my sweat, my suffer. I gave her the best. And when we went to Alausa, they asked him, what can you give? He said he doesn't have money, that he is not working. He's living by the help of friends and his wife. I said, okay, I can understand. But before then, I could remember, there was a time he called me. I came to First Star to meet him. He said, Vivian, things are not working for me. I believe you cursed me. I said, yes. I cursed you because I've been begging you to help me. And you refused. He said, please, you know me very well. If I have, I will give you. I said, I don't know you anymore. Because when I know you, if I ask, you give to me and you answer me. He said, please, forgive me. I looked at him. As if that one wasn't enough for me. I used his name, his father's name, wrote his name on a paper and took him Manela's hair, put it on my pad, menstruated on it. Unless he is not the father of this child, he will never go forward. I'm sorry, that was too much. I'm sorry, that was too much. I'm so sorry, but I've suffered enough. He abandoned me after how many years? Left the child. He was lucky to have one. Thank God for Daddy. You singled him out.
Okay. Okay. You were naked and